I don't know if this is machined as part of the crankshaft or if it's a bearing that sits in that oiler. That would be a thick bearing, because there's a bearing in here that it sits in. So I think it's machined as part of the crankshaft, but I'm not certain on that. I know this comes out, I'm just not sure how to get it out. Alright, I think what I've gathered is, according to this, so you have the bearing here. That goes in that side. And then this is the top side. So it's showing it this way, yeah. So this will be the side we're looking at. It's got this bearing on the inside and then this metal seal looking thing. And then if we flip, I don't know if you see that. I think that's what we're looking at here. But it shows the crankshaft is just straight on either side. So I think I can hammer that through. If you're getting that. See how the crankshaft shows straight on this diagram? So I don't think it's machined as part of the crankshaft. So we'll just try to heat it and hammer it. But first I need to make sure that that cylinder head is protected, because these are hard to find from what I've gathered. So we'll wrap this up, immobilize it so it's not slamming against the case as we hammer away. And we'll try the same thing. We'll try to heat it and hammer it. I'm certain it comes out. It's just going to take some time. From what I've been able to gather online, this washer here retains the oiler. So hammering that out isn't going to be effective. I mean, I'm sure that could work, but there's two threaded holes here. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm going to use the exhaust studs to pull that oiler out, and then we can apply our heat more effectively onto the bearing where it needs to be to remove the crankshaft from the crankcase. So that's what we're going to try now. And I just got this harmonic balancer puller kit from O'Reilly's, just for the top plate portion of this that's what I'll use to try to make it work. So also we'll need some washers out of this kit to space out those studs. Alright guys, what I've done here, set the crankcase in the vise protecting the crankshaft. That way I have a vertical place that I can attach this, because it was a little difficult doing it on its side. And then I put the flywheel on there to protect the threads at the end of that crankshaft. So now we're gonna see if we can pull this oiler. Slow here and see what happens. Looks like we just pulled it. Let's disassemble and see what we got. This retaining washer is definitely loose. You can see it moving around, but it still didn't want to come out. So let's just gently pry it up. There's the retaining washer for the oiler. Looks like it had a seal behind it that we've somewhat melted. So we'll have to replace that, I think. Okay. And we'll pull that oiler up. There's the oiler. We'll get this out of here so that we don't burn it. Alright guys, I kind of messed up here. This plastic piece here, well, I didn't know it was plastic. I heated up the bearing. It's a plastic worm gear and I melted it all to crap, but they're relatively inexpensive. I'll get one on order. But now we're gonna continue to heat it since it's already melted the threads down. We're gonna continue to heat it, hammer out that bearing. I think that crankshaft's about to come loose, so. Definitely coming out, but it's coming out a little crooked. our crankshaft with the bearings and the worm gear. Here's the other side of the crankcase. What's up, guys? It's good to be back working on this project. We just have one small piece here to finish up before we can begin cleaning up pieces and putting it back together. And that's getting these two bearings off of this crankshaft here. So I got this AutoZone or O'Reilly's 2-jaw puller. With that and a little bit of heat, I'm hoping I can pull these right off and hopefully get some replacements. This one, well, you're not going to be able to see it, but you can feel it grips at a certain point, and definitely needs to be replaced if it can be. If not, I'll try to clean it up and salvage it. But I'd like to replace it if I can. And then this side, let me take this off for you so you can see. This side has a seal. That definitely is going to get replaced. I believe it was used on later model saws, and it should still be available. And the bearing feels fine. It's a little tight. Feel a little bit of friction in there. I'd like to replace it if I could, just because we're this far into it. I mean, you really can't get any farther. So I'm going to put this back on here to protect the threads. And we're going to see if we can't get under that bearing and pull it. One thing I'm noticing is I'm not dead center underneath that bearing. That may cause some binding as it comes off, so we'll just have to take it slow and see what happens. Let's get this cranked up here. Get that out of the way. Okay, it's pretty tight on there. And it appears to be moving. Potentially. Let's keep cranking on it. What would be very bad is if we broke that bearing. I don't think we can do that, but you never know. I have a feeling it's gonna pop, and I don't know how bad that pop's gonna be. Getting to the point I can't really move it. That I'm gonna strip out this tool. Don't think I'm hurting anything on this end. I am hurting the end of this tool here, but I think we're doing okay over here, so we're gonna keep going. It doesn't appear to have moved much at all. Alright guys, we're gonna get it good and tight and apply heat this time. It should come right off. I don't have my welding gloves. They're at another project that I'm working on. I left them there. Hopefully this leather glove I have will protect my hand, but we'll see. Just gonna get this back on here where we had it. Go ahead and get getting snug. Put a little bit of pressure on it. And we'll get some heat on there and crank it. Now I don't have a thermometer, so I can't really tell you how hot it's getting. Don't want to get it too hot, obviously, so we'll just walk it up there slowly. I'm also doing this in my house, so I got to worry about the smoke I produce, setting off the fire alarm. Let's call that good for now. It is warm. Ooh, something just gave. Doesn't appear to be the bearing. Maybe this tool stripped internally, I'm not sure. It is the bearing. The bearing's moving now, so let's just keep kind of cranking on it. Yep, bearing is separating. You can see that separation in there, hopefully, where the bearing's walking away. Yeah. Let's give it a little more heat. That is hot, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we were. I've moved away a good amount. Just don't know how much more it's going to take. Without chalking up in a vise, I don't know how much more I could put on it. Make sure we're not hurting anything here. Doesn't appear that we are. I think I'm stripping out this tool. Hard to tell. That gap does look like it's getting bigger though. We'll just keep going and see what happens here. No, it's not stripped out because it's definitely getting harder to turn. It's moving though. Let's apply some more heat. It's getting hot in my gloved hand, so we know it's getting warm. Alright, let's keep cranking on it. Okay, it just released and popped off there, so let's get our tool off. We got some metal shavings here, and I'm thinking it's from the tool itself, not this flywheel. Either way, the threads were protected on the end of this crankshaft. It's a little warm. If anything, we may have marred the inside of that a bit, but it's not going to affect its functionality. Yeah, we did a little bit. Not a huge deal though. I didn't get into the threads. It's okay. Let's see if we can. Wow. It's not wanting to come off still. Let's see if we can't just tap that off there. Yeah, there it goes. So that's one bearing off. Man, that guy's on fire. I'm gonna set it on the wood here so it doesn't burn through my cutting mat. Okay, time for this other side. All we have here is a nut over the threads. And I don't know that it's the right pitch because it's not one to screw on all the way. Let's see if we can tighten it down a bit. Yeah, it'll tighten down just fine. So let's get it in there a ways. That's good. All the threads are covered. Should be fine. Let's see if we can pull this one while we're at it. So let's get this backed off. Get this. I'm half tempted to let everything cool down on this side so I can grip it. It's pretty hot, but I think I can make it work. Let's get this 2-jar cooler mounted up. Make sure we're not going to hit anything, not interfering with anything. Anything there. Don't really care for the way that's situated. That looks a bit better to me. That's pretty centered over the bearing. I don't know if I can line that up to where y'all can see. That's pretty close to center line over that bearing, so let's get it good and tight. Get some heat on it and see if it'll pull as well. crankshaft's still pretty hot. Starting to change colors a bit, so I imagine it's pretty freaking warm. It's moving already, so we'll just keep it rolling. Yeah, this one's coming off much easier than the other one. Probably got it to a higher temperature. Gotta watch our cylinder here. Let's get this hooked back up. Everything's incredibly hot. I wish I had my welding gloves. Wouldn't have to be so careful with it. Oh, it's off. Okay, we'll just tap it off here. Wow, that nut's even hot on the end. Let's see if I can get that off here. Alright guys, the bearings are off. I'd pick them up and show you, but they're going to be way too hot. So that's our bare crankshaft. I'm going to let that cool down a bit. And we'll move on from there. Time to start cleaning things up and putting it back together.